Hello everyone and welcome to another Baldur's Gate draft best of 3. Tiefling outcasts, while it might be interesting in constructed, not so much in limited. I would play it if I already knew I'm going to be an aggressive deck where I actually want some 1-drops, but I'm not sure I want to first pick it in a draft. The best card here as a pack 1 pick 1 option is, I think, Chahera. 2 mana, 2/3, decent stats. The specialize is okay. You can, naturalize something and then you get some slight boost depending on what backside you're gonna use. The white one is really good, getting counters. Scry 2 is like okay, making them lose 3 life is good, and the red one is good to haste the creature with stats, and of course the mono green option is gain 4 life. It's good enough. The pack is not that strong, and this is a fine card to start the draft with. Okay, there's both Cast Down and a Grim Bounty here. Also an Ambergris. I think Cast Down being so cheap, even though it doesn't hit everything here, because of course, for example, these specialized creatures are all legendary. There are still plenty of non-legendary creatures to bring down with this thing. So I think this is the pick goes to efficiency now. I would maybe take Ambergris over Grim Bounty, because this can be really good drawing you cards, and also the specialized options are really relevant too here. But this case, yeah, I think I will go to black-green direction now instead of green-red, although I like both of those combinations. And then I'm getting past the Dragon's Fire, which would be a really nice pick, especially after the Ambergris, but I think it's still the pick. I don't have to be green, I could even be black-red here, so it is the best card here, so I'm gonna take that this early in the draft. Also, it is splashable. This is an interesting one. I think I will take another Chahera. Good thing about these specialized legendaries is that you can have 2 of those on the battlefield at the same time. If the other one has already specialized and the other one not, or you have specialized both of them to different backsides. They have different names and therefore can coexist. So the usual drawback of having multiple legendaries doesn't really apply that much to these specialized creatures. There's no reason to take anything else here. Now I will more likely be at least green. Both of these are splashable, so I can still play all the cards I have picked here. Here, am I supposed to take something like an improvised weaponry and move to red-green? I'm not a big fan of the 4/4 flying trample creature that costs 6 mana. I actually would rather have the 7/6 that gains me 3 life, which has the identical mana cost. This has the adventure part, but it's not very often when you get to gain some value out of this adventure from non-creature sources. A really significant restriction. I'll take the red card and maybe I will be red-green. If I find some other splashable black cards, I could consider splashing this, but so far it's probably going to be straight up red and green here. Swashbuckler. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to take a 3 mana 2/2 that comes with a treasure token. Is okay. Maybe I should just take it. Yeah, I don't think the other cards are that great. The Trelasara is good, but I will be red here. Also, this pack has a few red cards, so it might be this pack is mostly red-green, so maybe this is the color combination to be in. Alright, so here I'm given another Emerald Dragon. There is a Lurking Roper, which is a good blocker, but probably not good attacker in this color combination. Now these things can gain 4 life if I take the mono-green specialization, which would untap this thing. So maybe that is a reason to take it. Warriors of Tiamat is like okay, not that big fan of the card necessarily. I'd rather just take some old bears. Yeah, I'm not gonna play that. Okay, I'll take the Roper. I have 2 ways to gain life and I might find some more. Alright, so here it's 2 options here. The Arcane Archery is actually quite good, but I do like some Farides Fireballs. This is pretty good removal, hits everything. Instant speed. I mean, not everything. I mean, there are 6 toughness creatures in the format, but I don't know. Maybe I'll take the Fireball for now and try to find an Arcane Archery later on in the draft. And here it's either Poison the Blade or the Cloak of the Bat for sideboard. A red-green deck can maybe use the Cloak of the Bat quite nicely. I'm not that big fan of the Poison the Blade, so let's take this for the sideboard. Druidic Ritual, no thanks. Prism allows me to splash. This Reckless Barbarian, yeah, it's a 2-drop. I have a couple of them already and a 2-mana removal, so I'm not going to play a random 2/2 for 2, even though sometimes you can sack it, you know, to power up some big play, but it's really not usually a good idea to sacrifice your own creatures. Alright, so here let's take the Rapier. I don't know, I don't like any of those too much. This is a good sideboard card. This is a best of 3 draft after all. And here I can take the Lantern if I actually want to splash something. Oh, this is the better one, which I might even main deck. I like the Follow that tracks quite a bit. Alright, so nothing black worth splashing here, but there are good options for green and red. There's an Owlbear, there's also Valor Singer, which I like quite a bit, but the question is between the Owlbear and the good here. So this is a 4/3 that can, you know, make one of your creatures trade with an opposing creature, which wouldn't be great for 6 mana unless, well, I mean, if you can make some other creature to trade, not this card, then maybe it's okay. But you would rather eat some of the opponent's creatures. When you specialize this, it's first of all quite expensive, 5 mana, and then the creature will be a 5/4 only, and the effect from the specialization is nice, but maybe not good enough. This is a 5 mana 4/4 trample, draw a card. This is 6 mana and doesn't, function. I mean, the best case scenario for that card is better, but the average scenario is that this is, more consistently good. Alright, so I could take a third Jaheira. I could have a Jaheira unspecialized on the battlefield, and then the green specialization, and then the green-red specialization, all at the same time. So I could even draw them all 3 of them without any of them dying, and I still can use them. Other options: band together, Dragonborn Immolator, Basilisk, Hobgoblin Captain. I would take the Captain over the Basilisk, but would I take the Captain over Jaheira? I don't think so. I'll take Jaheira here, and I think my second choice might be the band together and then the Immolator, but let's take these same uncommons now that I'm giving the option to do so. Alright, so Skanos is really good. 5 mana 4/4 with a very decent attack trigger, and then the specialization to mono green is really good, 6/6 vigilance, and then the red version is 5/5 first strike, and of course they also does a very strong attack trigger. I would take that over the Fiend Lash. I do like the Fiend Lash, but this is just I think the better card, so let's take it. And here I don't think I need more than one Follow the Tracks. There's still no black thing to splash. I guess I have no 4 mana cards in here, so I can take the 4/3. I have a Dragon's Fire, which, this is a dragon, so this can make this thing deal 4 damage. Also, this Skanos is a dragon, so I have an option to deal more than 3 damage with this card, which is something to keep in mind. And here, not such an amazing pack. I think this deck might want to use the Young Red Dragon, but I'm still not too big fan of that. I think I like the Bronze Walrus more than that, but am I gonna take the Meteor Golem instead? How many ways do I have to add mana? I get a couple of things that add treasures. If I play the Follow the Tracks, I could go to 7 mana, but I like the Walrus quite a bit. I think I'll just take it. I have a couple of nice 5-drops to accelerate into, so a 3 mana thing that adds mana is pretty useful. And here I take the only card for my colors, and I think the Inspiring Bard is totally fine. Okay, Thrakus the Butcher. So this is 5 mana 3/4. Not a good stat line when it is a defensive card, but when this thing attacks, double the power of each dragon you control. including this. So this attacks as a 6 for Trampler without any help from other cards. I could take the Scaled Nurturer, but I don't think I need it. I'll take this, I'll try it. And I have a couple of dragons already. Alright, how about this pack? Band together over the Mythic Rare, I think. I mean, the only reason to take this is to, you know, have it for my collection. And while I'm interested, I mean not only interested, I will be completing the entire set, including the Mythic Rares. I'm still going to take the better card here instead, because this really is, you know, a card worth picking here. And Reckless Barbarian, sure. I mean, I'm not taking Pack of Holding, it's bad. But there might be a scenario where I want to actually have this 2-mana 2/2 against some aggressive deck. The Basilisk might be worth main decking, especially with the band together. Here, the Dragonborn isn't really good. I don't want to have 2 of these, so I guess I'll take this Null Camp thing. And I can take the Ritual. And, well, there's the Bag of Holding, which I won't be using. And the last one is blue card. Alright. Nice and rare. Very good white rare, but I'm of course not taking this. It's a double caster. I'm not going to splash that. There is a Mephit's Enthusiasm. There's also Dreadly Norm. There's a Heal Giant Herdquarter. I would be, and even a Band Together. Yeah, there are multiple cards I'm taking. I would be happy to take. Sadly, I won't be taking all of them because I can only pick one, and it will be a 2-mana deal for. Sometimes, you know, you get some small boon out of this as well. So you're happy to kill anything that has 4 toughness, but then if you have to, you know, sort of waste this on some smaller creature, then you get the boon as a bonus. Alright, let's do it. Okay, Chaos Baldur. Alright. I don't even have a playset of those. Well, I know, regardless of this, you know, adding to my collection or not, but this will be the pick. This is a 5-mana 4/5 flyer, and then even though the ability is mandatory, you have to use it. You will find the modes. I have played with this thing multiple times in limited already, and I have found that you almost always find beneficial modes to target both players. So this is, I would say, almost pure upside, even though sometimes you might have some modes that you don't want to target either yourself or the opponent with. Something to note is that this is not a dragon, it's a demon, so it doesn't work with the Dragon's Fire beneficially, but then again, Dragon's Fire is very good even if it deals only 3. I would be happy to take a Prosperous Innkeeper, which I think in this deck I might pick over the Rabble Rouser, which I like as well, but Dragon's Fire is the pick out of those options. And I should, you know, lose the cast down. I'm not gonna splash that. I never found really a black card worth splashing other than the cast down, and I'm not going to splash just one black card. No reason to mess up your mana base for that. Now, this is the same question. Am I really taking the Innkeeper over the Rabble Rouser? I have one Lurking Roper. I have some cards I want to accelerate into, but maybe not too many of them. It's really interesting, actually. I like the Lurking Roper quite a bit. I think I might still I like the Lurking Roper. I meant to say the Rabble Rouser quite a bit. Which I again get the option to pick. So I passed 3 of these in a row. I'm definitely in the correct colors. Red and green are both open to this direction. I'm just looking at my playables, and I think I'm willing to play all of these cards. I only need 2 more playables, and this is a really good, you know, enhancement to your deck. 1, 2, 3. I have enough 2-drops and 2-mana spells. I'll take the Mana-Born Gate because it's just a straight upside. I don't think there's any problem of getting enough playables to this deck, and while the Rabble Rouser is good, it's, you know, slightly better in something like red-white, really aggressive deck, and this is a deck that just wants to get to late game, and it's not so important to have the aggressive attacker. Alright, I will take maybe the Wild Shape instead here of the another Death Toucher. This is not that amazing of a card. I like the Wild Shape. Okay, now I have the option to take both the Arcane Archery and the Good. I actually never got anything that costs more than 5 here. I do have several 5-mana cards though. Yeah, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana cards. But they are pretty good with the Goods actually. I like the Arcane Archery a lot, but I think I will take the Good now. And I got all the colors I need. I mean, there are multiple good cards in here. Sideboard Artifact Hate. sideboard flyer hate. I guess I have this, which also counts as both. Maybe I'll take the Ether Cap. I don't care about the Scaled Nurturer here. And okay, I got the Herd Coacher, which I'm going to pick and play. Follow the tracks. Yep, sure. I'm not sure how many of them I'm gonna play. Whatever, let's take the green card. Poison the Blade. Yeah, I got a lot of playables. I might play the Circle of the Moon Druid. Maybe not. Okay, even that as a last pick. My colors were very open there. Alright, so... Well, my sideboard has a lot of green cards, red cards. Not really cards I'm that happy to main deck, but that's no problem because, as you can see, I have here 27 non-land cards, and I will be playing 17 lands here for sure. How many dragons I have? 4. So I don't think the Thrakus is the kind of card I need here now. I'd rather have these other 5 mana cards. And I have these 6 mana cards too. Yeah, I don't think I need this kind of an offensive power. My cards are good enough that I don't need any additional way to push damage through. And this is really bad defensively, being only a 5 mana 3/4. So I'm gonna cut that. But I will play the 6 mana cards. I will play all the remaining 5 mana cards. And I will play these 2 4-drops just for curve reasons, if nothing else. And then this also gains life, so that's, you know, somewhat decent with the Lurking Roper here. And then, do I want to play both or Basilisks? So currently I have 1, 2, 3, 6, that's 9 2-mana plays here. I don't think I need more than 1 Basilisk. I could even see cutting both of them. But let's cut 1 for now and see if there's something I'm not too interested in here. I think I don't need to follow the tracks. 1 maybe is okay because I have basically 6 cards I can accelerate into with follow the tracks. So I can have play a 5-drop on turn 4 or a 6-drop on turn 5 with the follow the tracks and Bronze Valdus. Also the cards that add me treasures like the Innkeeper and the Swashbuckler and the Improvised Weaponry all allow me to do that. And now I have 1 card left to cut, which could be the Circle of the Moon Druid, but then again, looking at my creature curve, come on, that's 5 2-mana creatures, 4 3-mana creatures. Yeah, kind of like the Circle of the Moon Druid as a on-curve play, but is it needed here? What's the color balance? 14 green, 9 red. I could also see not playing the Wild Shape in the main deck and sideboard it in, because you usually, while the Spider and Elephant mode have some uses, the most common use for this card is of course just to give your creature hexproof. The problem with that mode is that it actually does shrink your big things. So let's say opponent we are in combat. I'm going to attack with an Owlbear. So before blockers, opponent is going to, use the deal 5 damage to an attacker. Well, I can make it into a 1/3 and hexproof to counter the spell, but then they can just block the 1/3 so that it dies. So it's maybe not so great when you have a bunch of big creatures. It's not always that beneficial to turn them into a 1/3. So I could see this being used as a sideboard option against removal heavy decks. Yeah, this is definitely not a Snakeskin Whale or Tamiya's Safekeeping. Those are both better versions of this kind of an effect. So I think I will cut the Wild Shape, and this is the deck. It will be featuring 16 creatures, 7 non-creatures, a bunch of removal spells. There are actually 3 burn spells here, 1 burn spell here, and then there's the Band Together. So, and the Improvised Weaponry too, which can get rid of some small creatures, and this good can help me fight something. Alright, I think... yeah, I like this deck. And I shouldn't be too worried about the artifacts and the enchantments, because these 3 things are main deck options to kill those. Alright, that's the deck. Let's just add some lands. The Gate of Manor-Bone goes in there, and well, it's pretty easily. I have even more green cards, and my mana fixing is, well, partly green, partly red, but still, even though I have these double casters from red, I definitely should be playing 9 green sources and 8 red sources here. And that is the deck. But before I move on, I maybe should show the relevant modes here. So this can be, in this deck, this can be a red or green version. Of course, the specialist cards can always be the, you know, the monocolor version. So if I specialize this into green, it will again be, well, all the versions will destroy an artifact or an enchantment if I want to. And then this green version gains me 4 life, which can be useful also for Lurking Roper. And the red version gives me a boon that with my next creature spell I cast getting +1/+0 perpetually, and it gains haste, which is, you know, the better one of those, unless you really need the 4 life or you really need to untap the Lurking Roper. Then we have here Skanos. So the unspecialized version of the card is, I would say, worth 5 mana 4 for a small stat line, but the attack trigger is quite powerful. But of course the main idea with this card is that you can specialize it and it becomes a pretty huge monster. So you can have a 6/6 vigilance, and then when it attacks, it effectively gives another of your creatures vigilance because it untaps it and then gets, of course, the, you know, all the versions give the +X/+0 to the other attacking creature. And the red version is this is a 5/5 first strike, so good luck trying to kill this thing in combat. And then of course it gives some other creature +X/+0, and it doesn't untap it like the green version did, but it gives first strike. So the other creature will be having +5 power to whatever power it already had, and then first strike. So that's gonna be even harder to deal with in combat. And then we have the goods here. So first you have the, you know, the fight option when it ETBs, and then it will cost 5 mana to specialize it. But if you do, you can, you know, because the creature that dies as a result of the fight, you get it temporarily. And the red version gains, you get for 1 attack you get the creature you killed with the fight ability, and the red version also gives it double strike. It will always get haste, of course, otherwise it wouldn't be that useful. And the green version gives it, makes it a 5/5 always regardless of its size, and then it will have trample and will haste, of course, too. So you can push some additional damage through, but it's not really that powerful unless it's a really close race. But maybe the main value of this good is that you try to, you know, snipe something off for free. Something, you know, you can, even a 4/3 can battle various size of creatures. Even, you know, you can kill a 2/4 or something. But if you have, you know, one of these guys that have, you know, power, I don't know, all bear can kill a 3/4 or something like that, usually you might find something worth, I mean, some target, some small creature. You don't have to kill a 5-drop. If you kill opposing 2 or 3-drop for free, it's still a nice value. Okay, let's play some matches. I will be on the draw with a 2-drop and a 6-drop. Well, this deck has some heavy hitters, so I guess keeping the 5-lander isn't so bad when I have something to stabilize with. Okay, I have a 5-mana play. Just draw a 3-mana play and a 4-mana play, and then I can curve out nicely. We count it. Oh, I have some number of creatures that can deal with, spells that can deal with that. There's no point playing the emissary. I'm not going to specialize it anytime soon, so I'll play these, so at least they won't be attacking Viconia into this guy. 3 colors, okay. Skullport Merchant. Well, that's also something I can kill with the goods here. Right. So I guess I could attack. They're not gonna block, of course. Then I play Jaheira with 1 mana open. I mean, it's only 1 damage. I don't think it's worth it. If they kill this thing, they can attack for 3, and then I only dealt 1 to them. It's not really worth it. In some very aggressive decks, when every point of damage might count, maybe you are happy to trade, you know, damage in that way. But this deck has pretty strong late game. I don't need to take any damage earlier. I don't have to take the risk when all I can win out of that deal is, you know, deal 1 damage to opponent. Okay, that's pretty useless actually. Alright, so I did in fact not find... Didn't find a play for this turn, but since I have 7 lands and I need only 6 with this deck, I think it's time to specialize. I can kill the the treasure token, which might be valuable, and then I will get the boon, which is quite nice. So let's specialize into red version. I don't need the life here. So next creature I cast will have +1/+0 and haste, and I will deal with their treasure here. Eventually they will be able to, you know, they will be able to turn this treasure into a card with the Skullport Merchant, but of course this also takes mana from them, so that was a good turn still, even though I didn't have any actual play here. Next turn I can use the Fireball to kill the Wiconia, and then I can use Good to kill the Skullport Merchant. Okay, so what's this? The reason I didn't even plan attacking with this Basilisk now is that if they kill this, they get a free treasure, so I definitely wanted to leave both of these to block, but don't really know. What card makes it so that they don't have 4 mana up, so the 2 +1/+1 counters won't happen. This has Death Touch. The green spell that gives Indestructible gives only +1/+0, so they need like 2 spells to make this good. I don't know. Let's do this and see what happens. I mean, that's, yeah, I guess they get a treasure token, but the Death Touch still kills this thing. So not such a big deal. And then, conveniently they don't have 2 mana, so they can't even in response use the Skullport Merchant here. So let's use the Fireball when they are tapped out. Almost. I mean, they could have to make a thing indestructible too. Okay. And then next turn I can use Good. Get the Merchant away. They've been stuck at these 3 lands quite a bit, and now they found a 4th land. They have the treasure as well. So that's okay. That is it will have now +1/+1. So that's pretty annoying card to deal with, but so if I attack now, will they block with the Mintara? Probably not. Plus, I don't even want to, you know... Yeah, I think I have to just let them have this, and I will find some other way to deal with this. I have to. Because this intensity growing will be a problem at some point. But I guess it's still a fairly decent turn to do it like this. Get some perpetual boost. It also has haste. So it's gonna be this that kills this. They have intensity increase there, and I will attack with the haster because I'm definitely, if they block here, I'm happy about that. They had no such intention. Now I must remember to not make this into a red version of itself, as long as I have the other Jaheira, but I can make it into a mono green one. So this has trample and reach thanks to the boon it got from the Arcane Archery. Alright, band together, well that's exactly what I need here. I just need them to tap out, of course. So I'm not going to use the specialize option here. The green version makes it into a yeah, but I can't do it because they can respawn with the removal spell and then I don't even get the effect. I think with the band together it's fairly safe to just attack here. See what they do. I'm assuming they have something here. Could be just a Dragon's Fire. In which case I try to use the band together. Yeah, I will have to use the band together. Alright, so now that happened, this is like incredibly good. That counters the spell, they would get the Lenormand. Yeah, that was insane. They were trying to give it 2 +1/+1 counters and untap it. Yeah, well, that was pretty risky thing to do into open mana. They have a Sewer Plague on that thing. The Specialize is a sorcery speed action, so I didn't have the option to use it in my upkeep. But, I mean, I just killed this thing and win the game. Dread Linorm is it's a very strong effect, but of course it is something that costs 4 mana and you usually get the maximum benefit from it when you use it on your opponent's turn, because opponent doesn't have to make a bad block that, you know, so on your turn you will have of course your lands untapped, but if the opponent knows about the format and what green can do for 4 mana, they don't have to make a block that makes this a complete blowout. So if you try to kind of ambush the opposing attackers, it's really risky if they have mana up and cards in hand. Alright, so they have it's a black-green deck which is having some kind of a red splash. So the wild shape has uses only maybe against the Shiva Blake, based on what I saw here, so no, not really a reason to play. Oh, by the way, they have also a white splash. I just realized because they, I think, got mana from a treasure. Yeah, there's Skullport Merchant. So they have a red splash and a white splash. I'm not sure if this card is worth splashing actually, but they are doing that. Do I have something that I don't need in this matchup? Probably could see playing Poison the Blade instead of something like... the Poison the Blade is quite okay when they use the Linorm to boost something, then I can still have a Death Toucher to still win the combat. Well, at least trade with the creature. Other than that, I like to have these treasure tokens coming up because of the, you know, the somewhat high curve I have here. Yeah, maybe it's just fine enough. I think it's fine enough. The Arcane Archery also is something that against which the, you know, the Death Touch trick might work. So maybe. Alright, so this is a fine keep. Just don't have the Horde Robber. I saw 2 of them in the previous game. Okay, that's... I don't want them to get 3 treasures which they would have gotten because I have no 2-drop. Or any of my 2 mana removal spells. So that thing... So what I'm gonna do here is... So I'm gonna have a turn 5 Chaos Balor. That's what I'm gonna do. So... Well, at least I will try to do that. So I'm gonna... play this, scry, lands to bottom, I don't need lands. Jahaira is fine. Now if I get to untap, this can kill those creatures there. No blocks. I can make this thing deal 2 damage. Although they might have... Alright, well actually not so good anymore. Not so good anymore because they can make this into a 4/4. It won't die. Well, let's see what they do. If they do something else, I mean. Alright, so the modes of Chaos Balor are and you have to use one mode to target yourself and another mode to target the opponent. Target player discards all the cards in their hand, then seeks that many non-land cards. Well, I don't want them to discard the 3 cards and then seek 3 non-lands. Definitely not. Chaos Balor deals 2 damage to target player and they create 2 treasure tokens. I don't want to give them treasures. And Chaos Balor deals 2 damage to each of creature target player controls. Those creatures perpetually get +2/+0. The thing is that they can use the Sepulchre Goal to sack some of this stuff. Well, one of them, and then it will survive the damage. It will be a 4/2, but I mean that's still what has to happen here. I'm gonna take the treasure tokens myself, and at least they will have only a 4/2 Sepulchre Goal here. But it's only, I mean, when it attacks actually, so didn't even realize that. Of course, it's not an ETB; it's an attack trigger, so this has to, you know, survive. Okay, so they did a pretty good play Deadly Dispute on a Sprawler here, which means that they got to draw 3 cards, and of course they had this Cry here. Yeah, I admit I thought this is also an ETB because there are that kind of cards nowadays that say that when this creature enters the battlefield or attacks, But it's only an attack trigger here, so let's see if it even survives here. I do have a 7-6 coming up. I mean, if the Baldur survives, that is. Mitara again. Okay, so they are using those treasures to splash, which is reasonable if you have enough treasure generated. That's fine. Okay, now the chaos pillar is a little bit awkward actually. One of the few cases where it is awkward, because I don't think I want to target them, because if I make this deal 2 damage to their creatures, this will be a perpetual. Yeah, the imp is the only one that dies, and these will both be perpetually increased in power. But I don't have to attack with this. In which case I will just yeah, well, no rush. Yeah, let's do this. It's quite funny that I can't use my 4/5 flyer to attack, but it's just not worth it. I don't want to make this thing. Also, its intensity would grow because of them. More of that. Interesting. So that would have been even worse. Well, maybe not. They would have had to sacrifice the heap on to the goal to make the goal survive, but they couldn't have used the dispute in that case. But they have some interesting stuff going on. Maybe I'm gonna make them discard all the cards and seek that many non-land cards. You know, make them deck. They have 5 cards in their hand. Well, they will play now some of that stuff. And this is 1 or more permanent, so this also counts treasures. I guess if you have a lot of treasures, this is quite valuable card. And of course, with this much treasure production, the splash won't be that hard to achieve. Raphael, okay, that thing needs to go. Yeah, how can I kill this? I need to draw one of my removal spells that can actually hit this. That is not. I would need a dragon in my hand, or on battlefield, which I don't currently have. Yeah, the Mintara is going to be the problem here. So this says, when at the beginning of each end step, if a creature card was put into their graveyard, they get a 1/1 devil that pings on death, and of course devils, imps, and thieves rings, and other demons too have +1/+1 and lifelink. So that is a card I really want to kill, but yeah, this is a tiefling, that's why it gets an additional boost out of that. Can't say I like my chances here. Could attack with these, they make a block of some. Yeah, the 2 damage to their creatures doesn't work now, does it? I don't want to give them any additional. I guess I'll just have to. I don't know. Play my stuff and wait until I draw something. The attack isn't even that great. They might just. What they might do. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna attack right now. Problem, of course, now is that because I did not leave mana up for the Dragon's Fire. Maybe I should have played the Jaheira, because they might attack with the Raphael now, and they might have the, put 2 +1/+1 counters there. Okay. Because I would have loved to be able to respond to that. Well, they did not have it. So I could attack with the Circle of the Moon Druid. It trading with like a something there might not be such a big deal, but I don't like the fact they're getting these, devil tokens. So I need to get rid of this guy, but I can't get rid of it until I draw something else. I think I'm gonna just play this one and then leave mana up for the Dragon's Fire, and if I don't have to use it, and then I will use the gate to mana born because of the Bronze Baldur's. I have mana to activate it. So it's interesting now. wouldn't even want to attack with this guy anymore because I needed to block the Raphael. And the Minthara here doing some actual work, giving +2/+0 to each of their creatures. Skullport Merchant. Yep, that's more value for them. They have a pretty much of an engine going on now. When they sack this treasure token, they are gonna get even more intensity for the Minthara. So I need to get rid of the Minthara and the Raphael. Come on, some dragons now. I would actually be able to do that if I had one of my 4-power dragons. And I have those in my deck. So can't even play this until I have specialized this guy. Maybe I just have to specialize it. Sure. I mean, they're gonna sack the treasure anyway with the merchant, but that's something they were gonna do regardless. Oh man, this is... that was wrong. I don't get the boon now. That was a mistake. But they didn't use the Skullport Merchant for that. But yeah, because the ability got countered, I don't get the boon. This is up to 1, so I didn't have to do it. But they decided not to use the... Well, they have red mana in the mana pool. Let's go to combat. Let's see if they have any use for the red mana. They don't. Okay, then no attacks, I guess. Don't really want to give them any more. I mean, I don't want to give them the devil tokens, that's the thing. So I'm gonna play now this because it has a different name. And my Dragon's Fires, they are good cards, but not against the board they're having currently. I'm also a bit scared that they have, you know, all these cards in their hand. What are they? I can make them discard the cards. Okay, so now let's see if they have the Linnorm in there. I'm gonna have to block, and if they do something, I need to use a Dragon's Fire here before it gets hexproof. Now, because yeah, I need to do it right now, and I need to hope they don't have anything else there. So now it will be a 3 toughness, and it will still die in this combat unless they have something. Okay, so that's part 1. Get rid of that thing. Oh, this is also a death trigger. That's actually something I didn't realize. When it attacks or dies. Alright, well, who is gonna get dealt 2 damage to each of their creatures? I could lose the Bronze Walrus and the Basilisk to get my creatures a permanent buff. Then I can make them discard their hand. Or give them treasure tokens. I don't want to do that. There's no point keep buffing their creatures. Okay, I'm gonna kill a couple of my own guys. And I'm gonna make them discard a card. I could make treasures in my... But yeah, I like the boost here. So, player to discard their hand. And yeah, I mean, it's not great that they get to discard 4 and seek 4, but hey, the cards in their hand are probably valuable. I mean, they are not lands, I don't think. We'll see. Yeah, they were cards, all of them. I lose 2 creatures, but the remaining creatures I have get a perpetual buff of +2/+0. And the creatures I had, they weren't really that amazing. Now, this giving +4/+0 to all of their creatures is really sick. But what can you do? So they discarded another Linnorm, a Viconia, a Druid of the Emerald Grove, and the Nefarious Imp. I mean, they got 4 non-lands, but I mean, they are probably not gonna be that much better than those ones. Alright, so I can't really use the Herd Culture for anything that useful because of the, you know, all these guys having so much power. But I think I will just, I don't know, attack with the Circle of the Moon Druid and Jaheira here, probably. Sure. Yeah, this... I just need to kill this thing. I really need to. And then do I want to... This has been used. Do I want to make this into a bigger creature? It would be a 5, 4. I would gain some life. Don't think it's even that worthwhile. 4 power is, you know, good enough here. I can at least block this Linorm with my Herd Gorger. Mechanic, okay. Now they get to add mana of any color if they have more splash cards. Also, this thing is a 6-1. Yeah, the Mithara. If I can't kill that thing, oh, it's gonna win the game for them. That is, I haven't seen this card do that much work at all. Okay, now I can kill it. Unless they have something, but I have here 6 mana, so I won't be able to have the Dragon's Fire up, sadly. So let's just hope this is going to work. Oh, they targeted the wrong card. They made a mistake. They actually used that thing on the good. Alright, so now they have a lot less threatening board. Oh, they should have targeted my Circle of the Moon Druid with this thing. Alright, well, this is still gonna die, but I mean, they lose their Mithara. The creatures are pretty useless now. I can... They can make this into a 4 power. I guess they can throw all of them. Oh, I don't care. I'm gonna attack here. Maybe they just jump block with the 1/1. It's one less creature they can use on the merchant here. Yeah, the good will die, but that was a good one for me. They really should have checked who I'm gonna target. Maybe they thought it's always good who's gonna fight. Oh, jeez. Can I find my 4-power dragon? They are having some very strong splashes. Raphael and the Prosper. I don't know if this... Now the white version, white card is that amazing. It's pretty good for their deck. And they have a lot of Patria's Humiliation, which they are gonna be able to use to kill... Alright. Okay, let's see. My Herd Gorger might die, or maybe not. Okay, well, now that they are tapped out, they can't use the merchant, so I definitely need to kill this right away. Right. They can use it to eat it with the goal, but so be it. So now they have 5 creatures. They need one other creature. They need one other creature to make it so that... Oh, wait. Oh man, all the chapter, all the... Jeez, I should have played the forest. I don't have the Dragon's Fire anymore. Because I could have just eaten this in response to this humiliation here. Jeez. That's actually... That was a mistake. Such a mistake. Yup. All they need is one creature. They can just play the Linorm or whatever. Also, their deck is... Look at the cards they have in there. Yeah, I mean, imagine if I had mana up for this Dragon's Fire. I kill this 1/1 in response, and they actually deal only 5. Yeah, I lost the game because of that. Because I needed the 9/6 there to hold the ground. I can't beat them. They actually have way too... I mean, can I draw something that makes sense? Can't be. They're gonna get the Linorm here. They're not gonna get decked or anything. Yeah, they have the Mechanics. They have double merchant here. I mean, this is just the first big quality card. And they have 2 of them. Yeah, they can have the splashes easily happen. The two different splashes makes no sense. Yeah, I don't know. They can just make that into a 4/4. It will just trade with this. I don't think there's a way I can deal with this situation. wonder how it would have. I mean, I would have been not in a good shape even if I had the Dragon's Fire to kill the 1/1 token to make the humiliation deal only 5 to this guy, but at least I would have had a fighting chance. There is a. I mean, if I would be able to stall this game enough, they might get decked. They can't just draw cards with this guy all the time because they might get decked. Problem is now they have. I can't block with this. This requires at least 4 power to block with. Don't have that. I mean, I have this which I can make into a 5 power creature, but I think it's just not worth wasting the time. They will beat me with that board. Okay, so now I know the game plan. How do I mean, the nastiest creatures they have are legendary, so cast down doesn't even make that much sense. Do I need something like a Cloak of the Bat to win in the air? I think a card like a Prosperous Innkeeper isn't gonna be that great. I'm gonna use the Cloak of the Bat. I will lose the late game. Ether Cap can kill the 1 flyer they have, but that's only 1 flyer. It's really annoying. Other than that, it doesn't really do much. Wild Shape can counter the Humiliation, Super Plague. Yeah, but I need to win them quickly. That's the way to do it, and for that I can use the Cloak of the Bat. How about Thrakus? Trembling big guy. Could be better than something else I have here, but maybe not. Maybe the Lurking Roper isn't gonna be able to attack often enough that I'm gonna cut that and play the Thrakus. I feel like I need some very weird stuff here to win, because they will win the late game for sure. I think I'm gonna use the Poison to Blade too. It's quite good when they have those, you know, those Skullport Merchants to block with my 2 power creatures, so I can give my guys a death touch. But I will need to cut something. I just don't know. Basilisk is useless. I don't need a defensive card here. I will lose the game where I try to be defensive. Maybe the Dueling Rapier even, but I don't think I have enough. No, I will use this deck and try to just curve out as well as I can. Maybe have a Mana Accelerator, play a turn 4 5 drop and win that way. The opponent does have a great deck. I have to say that. Well, I needed this dragon to enable my Dragon's Fires in the previous game. And yeah, I know this is a bad keep, but then again these are strong cards, and if I get my Mana Accelerator, which I have 2 of, and a bunch of cards that create a treasure token in 2 draw steps, that will be fine. Okay, that's definitely something. If this finds a target now, so don't play a Horde Robber or a Wiconia. Oh man, do they even have anything with 2 toughness? Now, this is the tough question. I think I'm gonna play the tapped land. I was considering just playing these to have an Owlbear on the next turn, but they might play the 2/1 flyer here, for instance. You know, the imp that scries when permanent they control. Because they might have a Skullport Merchant too. Well, there is that, which I'm, you know, happy to kill, because that's the only thing I can do this turn. And yeah, they get the token, but also this cuts them. They don't have the mana from that thing. So now I can maybe use the combination of Skanos and the Thrakus to do some nice amount of damage here. I just don't know in which order I'm gonna play. I will start with the Owlbear, so if they have a removal spell, they will use it on that. And this can't be jump blocked with the 1/1 that easily. I go from there. But I have the cards now that I can use to win the game. So the red-green version is first strike, right? But no trample. But the mono-green doesn't give trample either. But this thing has trample, so there is that. Okay, they did their thing with that. Yep. One on the battlefield tapped. Yep, now they will start playing the red bombs. But this thing can deal with both of them bombs. So let's just attack now and I think play a... Let's see what they do now. They do want to... So I can either kill the merchant or both of these guys. I do like the merchant being dead more. Okay, I mean, I could have had any trick here, so... I like that they chose this, because now what I can do is play the Skanos, and this will give, you know, this will give +4/+0 to this Trampler. I can keep pushing for damage. I will leave both lands in my hand, so I have easy time to choose which specialization might I want to have. It is a 4-mana specialization, but I can, next turn if I want to, I can specialize it and still use the enthusiasm. More disputes. They have a lot of cards now. There's the Prosper Tumba. It has Death Touch. Are they going to have them? And it's very sad that they have 4 mana available now. It's very sad. Because they might just give it +2 +1/+1 counters and hexproof in response to the enthusiasm. That's so rough. So I'm going to make this into the first strike specialization. That's what I have to do. Now these guys will be getting first strike. So now the question is, do I want to steal? I might still need to kill this, because let's say I attack with this boat. Now this is only 5 power. Oh, I can make it actually 7 power first striker. Okay, then, okay, that's actually the plan I want to use, because I think they have the thing that gives, you know, 2 +1/+1 counters. Now this will be a 7 power first striker. This will be 11 power Trampler and first striker. So now the Death Toucher isn't going to be that big of a deal. They can jump block this 7/7 of course, but they are taking 11 damage here. And if they can put the counters on the Death Toucher, it's actually not going to help them, because I can first strike the Death Toucher. They might have a Super Blake too. But that is jumped and then they go down to 5. Yep. Okay, they will go down to 5. So they need to find something on the Skanos. Double the power of each dragon you control. Okay, well, look at this opponent. Has 8 cards in their hand, and they can play the swamp, and then they will get a treasure token when they play a card from exile. So they have 8 cards in their hand with access to 10 mana total this turn. What is going to happen now? I might still need help from my deck here, because they can deploy quite the board here now. But that then again, if they completely tap out, they might have an easier turn here. This also is pretty good in combination with Skanos. Skanos gives +5/+0 to this thing, and then it gets doubled to, so it will be 8 power. It will be 16 power of trample and first strike. If I get to do all that, I mean, that's requiring them not having any kind of solution to my creatures. If they only have creatures themselves, I will win with the 16 power Trampler, or at least will eat most of their resources. They are starting to draw cards. That's an act of desperation, I think. I mean, they have all these cards, all this mana, and they still choose to draw more cards. Okay, that has lifelink now. They can attack, but they have only 2 mana left. They don't even want to attack with the lifelinker. There's the humiliation which they can cast to make the Skanos lose its abilities. That's what they can do. Because they have a treasure token there. Skanos won't have abilities. That's what's going to happen. Whenever you attack, you may sacrifice 1 or more treasures. When you do, up to that many target creatures gain double strike. So I can give the old bear double strike here. Oh man. That is also interesting, man. Whenever you attack, yeah, this doesn't have to attack. So let's try with the enthusiasm first. I need to kill the Raphael, right? Just to make this, yeah. Let's do that and see what happens. They're gonna use the humiliation on Skanos. Now it won't have its abilities anymore. And they of course get a treasure token as well. It's still, yeah, it's a 5/5 vanilla creature now. And they can... Let's see what happens. They actually just draw it into a make it into a card. Sure. And I lost my sound thanks to the sound bug still being there. So if I play this and I give my Owlbear a double strike, they have to block it with 1 creature. Then they can only block. Is this a victory actually? Because I think it might be a win. I mean, this is a 4/4. Come on, whenever I attack, I will sacrifice a treasure, the one I have access to. This will get double strike, so it's 8 power of trample. They need to put 1 guy on front of it, and then, okay, they don't have a lifelinker. This is a win. I mean, it is. Because they can't prevent all this damage. Yep. That's first strike, and then trample for the rest, and the bard is unblocked. Wow. What a match. I mean, opponents were they unlucky because they had so many cards and they had to still draw this stuff. I guess they got the humiliation with a prosperous ability, so that's that, but I felt like their turn could have been much better than it was. Yeah, they had to use 3 of their mana to draw a card because, well, they used 2 mana and then they sacked the treasure. So then they had only 5 mana left after that, and for 5 mana, 7 mana because they had access to 10, and then they were able to play this and leave 2 mana up. Yeah, okay. Swashbuckler for the win. That was a tough match. And I will now restart the client to get the sound back. Alright, I'm on the draw here. I have a nice hand though. With 2-drop, 3-drop, or the Swashbuckler. If I get a 5-drop here, I might want to play this on turn 3 to play a 5-drop on turn 4, but the double strike also proved quite useful there. In the very final attack that allowed me to push the lethal damage. Okay, no 2-drop there. Green-white, no anything yet either. So this could get killed by the 5 damage spell, which is fine. Guess I'll just attack. And I will play the Lurking Roper, maybe. Or maybe actually I did draw the... Yeah, and I don't have a land. I'm gonna play the Skanos here, so let's do this here. I mean, I know I have 2 turns to... I guess I could have also played the Follow the Tracks, but then again, I have a 2/2. That might be worth something if I want to use the band together instead on the next turn. They also didn't play anything there. Ah, they have a 3rd color. So, Okay, what's going on? Do they have a mass removal spell of some kind? Well, I mean, guess I'll just play, and I won't be giving anyone double strike. I will decline this. Ranger, Warrior, Druid. Alright, so let's say if they have the white mass removal spell, I get to choose a party from my creatures. I have a warrior, but actually it's a rogue and warrior, but doesn't matter in that case. Sadly, this is not a warrior, so I guess I could just play the Lurking Roper here. Really? Oh man, I mean, I'm not gonna play around the rat. They also need to have planes to make it happen. But if they do have the rat effect, I have only a 2/2 left and they have all these cards, so... But at least I make them do something now. One spot removal isn't gonna be that great. Okay, there is the white, so let's see if I... Just an over, good. So now I basically win right, because I can't specialize and enthusiasm, but... I mean, it doesn't matter really. I don't think this is quite lethal. I think it's 12 damage I can push here, even if I make this thing happen. I guess if I don't know, maybe I should have specialized it and they would have been forced to block somehow. Maybe I should have thought it better. I mean, not that I'm in a bad shape, of course I'm in an excellent shape. And now I don't mind if they rat now, because my 2/2 rogue warrior will survive the rat and then they will die unless they have something for 1 mana. But yeah, because I know I didn't have a lethal on that turn, so instead if I didn't use the enthusiasm, if I just made this into 6/6 vigilance and then give like this Jaheira, yeah, I guess I would have forced a block on the thing that is gonna be, or maybe if I made it into a first striker, but then I would have had to, well, okay, point is I should have figured out what happens if I, you know, specialize this into either the mono green or the red version. I didn't have mana to do anything else than the 4 mana specialized there, so I was a bit too hasty there with the removal spell. I mean, I might have ended up using the removal anyway, but at least going through the options would have been smart. Because if I made it into first striker, but I guess was my only red specialization such that I would have had to discard the enthusiasm, then again they would have been forced to jump block a first striker, so well, at least that way I was able to push so much damage that if they have the rat effect, it won't help them anymore. And of course they didn't have it in their hand because they didn't cast it, so they would have had to have the card in their deck and also draw it. Well, I didn't see a lot. I saw an Owlbear and 3 colors, so what's that gonna mean? Maybe the Basilisk isn't that great if they are not an aggressive deck. I'm gonna actually cut the Basilisk and play the Poison the Blade here instead. I won't be doing anything else because, I mean, they might just have had a bad curving. Maybe they can curve out now and I will miss my Basilisk not being able to be a defensive play, but let's see. I get a lot of these 5 land starters, but how can I mulligan these when I have Chaos Baldur coming on turn 4 potentially? And even if it's on turn 5, it's fine. Okay, they have a Prism. Well, they do have at least 3 colors, so that makes sense. They have a play on turn 2 that doesn't actually affect the board, so it's fine by me. Let's hope I can... No, I can't kill that with improvised weapon. That's also a pretty good card. So, I'm just gonna play this on turn 5. I'm not going to, you know, burn their face to get this on turn 4 when I can just play the Bard on turn 4 and then the Baldur on turn 5. Assuming there's not something I want to kill with this. Okay, they have like multiple of those. That's a lot of wasted time. I mean, that's very good for me because I'm not doing anything either. So, can at some point try to kill that, but I don't think it's even that relevant. By the way, they are missing land drops despite cantripping, so that's very, bad luck for them. They do have access to all the mana now. I mean, colors of mana, not amount of mana, of course. So they should be playing some spells here. That's a ally. That can be killed with Dragon's Fire on that. It's a bit riskier. There's no point in not attacking. Maybe I am actually having a different plan. If they block, let's see. If they block, I will finish it off with the improvised weaponry, and then I'll play the first person keep. I think I don't want to start taking this damage, and I don't want to risk. I mean, I could just play the Chaos Ballad, of course, but it doesn't even do that much right now. And this might be the best target for the improvised weaponry, so let's just kill it while they're tapped out, and then have the Innkeeper as my play. I know I could have killed this with Dragon's Fire, but I'm not really worried about the 1-3 flyer, which they can specialize, but if they go for that, maybe I will burn my treasures to kill it. Okay. They didn't go for that. Let's see what they roll with this. So they will get 2 lands regardless, and depending on the roll. Okay, they get one of them on the battlefield, one of them in their hand. Alright. Well, they had the mana fixed with that thing already. Are they gonna double block here? Be my guest. I mean, I'm gonna use a Dragon's Fire if they... I can use a Dragon's Fire and still play the Chaos Ballad. Okay, so they didn't attack with this thing. Doesn't matter. Let's do this now. It's alive. So, do I have a good mode for this thing? And yes, this is also a death trigger. Something to keep in mind. Well, I will kill their board, because this dealing 2 to their creatures should be enough when I can also target them with the Dragon's Fires. I can just kill the Lulu. Well, let's see first if this survives the turn. They have access to 6 mana and, with the prisms to any kind of combination of colors, basically. All bear is fine. So, well, let's see. They have 1 mana up. Well, more removal. So I'm definitely not going to use this first ability on myself. I don't want to discard these cards to seek that many non-lands. Definitely not. What I'm doing here is just killing their stuff, right? And I'm gonna target myself with 2 damage and treasures, right? Do I want to leave the band together? It's an instant, so yeah, I'm gonna do this. I didn't have a Patriarch's Humiliation. Kill this. Yeah. I don't want them to discard their hand. I mean, it would be funny if they draw 6/6, and they will... Well, I'm not gonna win this by decking. So now... I will take 2 damage and create 2 treasures, and okay, that 2/2 is gonna die. Yes. Yes. Be careful to, use the correct monster. Now they have no board, and I still have 2 removal spells, and of course with the treasures I have mana to cast even both of them. Konya. It's gonna die. I kinda don't want to give them, well, treasures, but let's see. I could win on the next turn by making myself... I mean, if they tap out so that I can kill their board with the removal spells, which is not completely impossible. I will win this game without giving them treasures. I can give my own guys +2/+0. The Innkeeper will die to 2 damage, but I will be dealing 11 damage in that case. But that's only safe if they totally tap out. So let's see if they try to use them. They did exile with Viconia, so Are they gonna specialize it? If they are, I'm just gonna respond by killing it. Yeah, they are gonna lose flaming fish thing. This is gonna die now. And I will be winning. Yeah, well, they don't even let me do that, but I will still say what I was planning to do, so. Yeah, the mode that deals 2 damage to them and gives them 2 treasures makes the attack not lethal anymore because they might have something for the 2 mana. So what I would have done is simply kill this thing with Band Together, and then I use the first ability on the opponent, so they will discard their hand and seek 3 cards. Doesn't matter, they're tapped out, and then the final ability on myself. So Innkeeper dies, but these things will survive, and this will deal 5 and this will deal 6. They will have no blocker at that point because I have used the Band Together, and they will take 11 damage. So that was 100% lethal there. That was a little bit easier match than the first one. Final match. I have my 2 match wins already, so a decent result for a draft. But of course I'll try to get my 3rd one. I do like the deck. I think it has potential for a good finish, which, you know, the best finish I mean. 2-1 is a good finish, 3-0 is great. Alright, so the opponent chose to go first, and I have a nice hand if I had 1 more land. I mean, any of these non-lands, if I could change them into a land. Especially mountain. That would be a key, but now it's just too risky. I know if I draw 1 land, I can play the Innkeeper, and then I would have, with the treasure, access to 2 lands, plus the treasure being the 3rd mana to play the Follow the Tracks. But if I don't draw it in 2 draw steps, so my deck has of course now 33 cards, 16 of which are lands, so it's like a roughly 50%. If I miss it twice, it's 25% to miss it twice. And that's almost going to be enough to lose the game. Now this hand is really amazing. I mean, if I get to go off with this Follow the Tracks, and I will get to play my 5 mana cards, I have a removal, I have a 2-3 to block early. It's a great hand if I get a land in top 2. It's a really tough one. Even if it's just a forest, this will get me the red gate. It's just such an... I mean, 25% to almost lose the match, lose the game right away. 75% to have a good game, which, you know, these cards will probably help me win quite quickly. It's really tough, man. Okay, I'll keep it, because if I draw the land, I think this has very potentially a winning hand against any, you know, normal. If your opponent has some 6 stuff, of course, then I'm gonna lose anyway. And there it is. Now I would ideally draw another land so that I don't have to play the Innkeeper, but I will play the Innkeeper if I draw a non-land, just to, you know, prepare the Follow the Tracks. Oh. Well, I mean, that's actually amazing. I drew 2 lands back to back. They had a Horde Dropper, so Innkeeper would have been an awkward play there. Now I could play these to block this, but if they remove this, they get free treasures. I think this is the spot where I just kill these so that they don't get to ramp up their play. And I can play the Follow the Tracks, and then, I mean, I have a great game. Like I said, I kept this risky hand for a reason. Yeah, they can, you know, go off with that thing. And I just drew 3 lands back to back. Well, I'm gonna play it next turn. Should this be a red one? Maybe. Let all bear next turn, so they can, you know, do this double team thing. And I'm at 20, and I start playing these big hitters. Yeah, the fact I got also the 3rd land back to back. Yeah, that was an amazing set of draws. I mean, that was the dream draw sequence after keeping that hand. So now I need to actually show that I'm gonna win this game unless the opponent has some 6 stuff, because I said I should be winning any kind of a normal draw with this hand. If it gets there, which it did. Okay, so they played another rabble rouser, and now those are only 2 power total, so it's not really. I mean, let's say they kill the old batter with a, for example, a green bounty. Well, then they will tap out, and I will go to 17. Then I can play another creature. I hope they don't have removal for all of my guys. I also will get some life gain from the Innkeeper. Tiefling Outcasts, well that's... Okay, do they have a land drop? Nope. So they might have steel and sack stuff. Which would be a shame, but... Okay, so either play the Vessel here, or not sure what I should do here. I cannot play the Innkeeper and both Jaheiras. Don't even have enough green for that. Can I afford to... I could play the Innkeeper and a Skanos, but then that means I sack the Treasure. I don't know if I want to do that. It's a tough one. I kind of feel I want to just play this thing. Then again, I have only 2 green sources, so let's do it. I think I have to use the another Treasure for this Treasure for a green mana anyway, so let's use it on this turn. You know, maximize the use of mana here. And I'm not attacking with the old batter. I just want to hold up my defenses. And I'm actually going to maybe prefer the 6/6 Vigilant version here, but of course it will depend on what they're doing. Because they might... The first strike is very good, of course, but it's a 5/5 first strike, isn't it? Yep. So let's give it this +5. That's like 5. That's 14 damage I can attack with. But let's see now if they kill it, or are they just reading it? They were hovering. Yeah, well, they have the provocation. Sadly, they actually were able to... I mean, they didn't have the land on the previous turn, so that's somewhat awkward. But I guess it's better they do it now before I specialize it. Yeah. But I hope they don't have like a lot of these provocations, because it's really good against my deck if they have the goal as well to go with it. I wonder what the white splash is gonna be. Okay, so they can make this into a 5/1. So, yeah, this actually... Oh, wow, what an attack. I have to take 11 here. Because I can't even blocking the goal, because they're gonna just sack this thing on the goal. Maybe I will still do it though. I mean, this is gone forever. That's just what it's gonna be. Can I afford to just deal with the goal all the time? It always threatens to be a 4/4. Also, if they have more of these provocations, yeah, I mean, this also saves me damage. This doesn't have first strike, so I'm actually taking only 5 now, versus 11 I would have done otherwise. So yeah, this is a decent block. But I will be now in trouble, unless... Well, I guess I have 2 gates to draw more cards with. Also, all these. Right, well, let's start with adding to board. And I can't... So I'm gonna specialize that into red. I mean, it would be funny to have all these 3 on the battlefield at the same time. All I have to do is specialize into the green one with the last one. Okay, well, because I can't play this before this has specialized. Should I attack? I should attack for 3 here. Let's try to raise a little bit. I don't really know what do I benefit from leaving 2 blockers, because this 3/4 should be good enough unless they, you know, kill it. But even in that case, I take a little bit of damage. Yeah, both of these gates are still unused, so I will, even if I draw lands, I have something to do with my mana. But the opponent is, of course, having still, you know, 3 cards in their hand. I don't know about plus the outcasts. But the outcasts not the most relevant. Okay, they had the removal spell. Do they want to use the treasure to pump these guys? I take either 3 or 5 here. Well, they didn't want to attack with the outcasts, I guess. Don't know why. So this can now kill the treasure. So I can play the other Jaheira. Let's do that. let's do that. Yep. Also, I will gain 4 life here. So I didn't get to have all of them at the same time on the battlefield, but I was able to cast all of them. Or do they have a Dragon's Fire? Please don't have a Dragon's Fire. Ooh, that would be annoying. I want to gain my 4 life here. But they do have, of course, a stop here because of the Rabble Rousers have this activated ability and they have 2 mana up. If they can respond with the Dragon's Fire here, that will be annoying. I mean, I'm gonna say that because the Rabble Rousers will in the end win, because when they have more red sources, these threaten to be quite good attackers here. Okay. Actually, I mean, I don't get the life if they... Yeah, the problem is, if the target of this ability goes away, I don't get the 4 life. So which do I value more? 4 life or them not having access to the treasure? I think with double Rabble Rousers, I just want to kill this anyway. They should just, you know, sack it. Oh, they didn't. They just gave me 4 life for no reason. Okay, so am I going to offer the trade on the outcasts? They will effectively be 2-1s here. Not really, because my Harbor Emissary is a 2-3 with cannon. No. Block it anyway, unless it gets killed, of course. These do have hexproof from artifacts and enchantments, so something like a Minimus Containment actually cannot be used to kill these. Of course, this still has the Naturalize effect left. Okay, 2 cards I don't know about. They found another red source. There's the outcasts, which is not scary. Okay, I need to draw my... I mean, I actually have drawn some of my big hitters, but I still have some of them left in the deck. The Rabble Rousers, they are definitely problematic later in the game. Alright, so no treasure for that thing. I think I'll just play this. Have reason to attack now because... I mean, this would trade with 1 of the Rabble Rousers. That's bad. Let's just hold back for now. This is free to specialize into the red version. Alright, so that is going to be blocked by, I guess, annoying, but what can you do? I mean, this is gonna block here. There's nothing to disenchant and... oh, they have +1/+0 and indestructible, do they? What else there's for 1 black mana? Yeah, there's nothing else. Well, they had to get rid of that card eventually. Inspiring Bard. Now these won't be pumpable, so how do I do this? So if they want to kill this, they have to put... But I guess they could put 2 outcasts. Yeah, but that's fine. Oh, I guess I can also just make it a 2-2. I mean, +2/+2. So let's try that for a moment. I don't care about the sellsword trading with 2 cards. They can't block it with only 1. They have to throw away 2 cards to kill it, so that's fine. Now this is one card trading with 1 card, but of course they got value from Warriors of Tiamat, so they have 2 4/2s now. But I can trade with both of them. But yeah, like I said earlier, the Rabble Rousers, I need to trade with them once they find more mountains. They didn't want to attack with the other one, so either they're gonna choose to use it as a blocker, or they have some other play here. I think they're gonna use it as a blocker, so I'm not going to trade damage here. I could take the 4 here, of course, because I have 22 life. But also, if I take the 4 and then attack with the 3/3 and they block with the other 4/2, I just took 4 damage for no reason. And I will need some time to, you know, activate this gate, so I actually don't want to take any extra damage if I can avoid it. Okay, Lurking Roper is good combination with the stuff going on here. So now I can just trade with the Warriors of Tiamat. I have still like a Dragon's Fire at least in the deck. I have the 2 mana, deal 4. Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna trade with that thing. This has specialized already. Yep. So let's just do this one. 4 creatures will allow me to untap with the Roper. Thanks to the Innkeeper. I have drawn a bunch of non-lands in a row. I did use 2 lands to specialize my stuff. But once I start drawing lands, I can use these gates. Also, this 4/5 is a good blocker on the stuff they have. Okay, so those rabble rousers now threaten to be 4/3s. But they can't really raise me that much. Okay, so let's first do this. See what I find. In the end, I feel I need to just trade all of my guys. I mean, on the rabble rousers. I would need 1 extra. Well, let's see first. I mean, as long as... Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so how do I do it? I'm not attacking with the Jaheira here. I could attack with the Roper, but they will double block it. I get to kill one of their guys. It would be 1 rabble rouser that I'm gonna kill. But then they have a harder time killing the herd coacher, so I think it's worth it. I'm going to make them... Well, don't know really. What I also could do is just attack with both and now make this trade happen. I guess if I draw more removal, they will have more creatures to remove anyway. Okay. They can't kill the Roper without blocking with 2 guys, so... Then again, them having to leave up mana a bit is great. So maybe there's no reason to attack yet. Okay, let's wait for a bit. I'm not sure if this is the correct play to make, but I mean, whenever they play some spells, that means they have less mana to use for the rabble rousers. And I can still, you know, draw a Dragon's Fire or the band together to make a double block a riskier play. I haven't seen the white splash though. Okay, that is... Well, it doesn't have double team, does it? It has perpetually lost. It has only haste, so... But that's still, of course, more guys. They can move the equipment around. Okay, that Ghost Lantern can become a problem too. Too bad I lost all my, you know, Jaheiras here. This is already, you know, the version that... That's already the version that, you know, can't use the Naturalize anymore. Sadly. Right, well, at least they can't use their... you know, pump effect, so I'm definitely attacking with these both. I will lose the... They will block with the Warriors of Tiamat there, and then I will... They might even take... Well, they can double block these 2. I can only kill one of them. Yeah, they can use the Rabble Rouser and another Warriors of Tiamat to kill. Oh, but they chose to not do that. That's fantastic for me. Okay. That was a really good one. Because they could have put the other Warriors of Tiamat there. Now this thing starts getting some counters, which is annoying, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna play this land. I think I have 1 specialized creature left. Do I? They are top decking now, at least. But all Jaheiras are gone. Oh, Skanos is gone also. Oh, I have the good. I have still good. Alright, well the 1/1 isn't really a threat. Look at this. There is the good. Oh man. I can make the herd quarter, or actually, let's not be too hasty. This was such a lucky draw though. I'm gonna get it for myself on the next turn. It's gonna have a double strike most likely. So, specialize 5, discard the mountain. Even if I just kill the rabble rouser, because I kind of want to kill the rabble rouser. I would have to use the herd quarter. I could kill the warriors of Tiamat though, with the lurking roper. Then I can attack with this, but they will just jump with this, and this will be actually a big creature on the next turn. But I would have a hasty double striker coming up. I think I am going to let them have a big rabble rouser. Although it can just block, but it doesn't matter if it gets too This is interesting. So I'm going to do it like this. Not sure if this is like super smart. But the problem is if I make the herd coacher, battle the rabble rouser, they can pump it twice, make this, get dealt damage, then it can't attack. Now I can attack, and they basically have to. Oh, it exiles. They don't get a counter from there. I forgot that. I mean, I thought they were gonna get a counter, but of course this exiles, and this only gets a counter when the creature dies. So, I mean, the same story still. I just attack with this, and they will jump with the warcaller. They will get a counter from this thing. But of course, I mean, I'm winning because I have so many attackers from this thing. And this 4-2 guy will have a double strike. I will specialize. I will make a token, copy, double strike and haste, and then I have to sack it. Yeah, that imp isn't gonna help them. I have just a lethal attack no matter what. Well, that helps too, but I don't even have to show it to them. Because this is too many. I have 2 lethal attackers, the herd coacher and the double striker, and then of course I have, 10 other damage. So they will go to at least -3 here. I didn't even have to actually use the green gate. I really drew a lot of non-land stuff. Now this is still unused. This has been used. Okay, so they're going through the motions here, but I mean, they are just gonna die here. Scry won't help. Alright. Game 1. That was also a kind of an interesting game. A lot of decisions there, and the double team stuff was a little bit they got a lot of cards out of those double team effects, and then they had the Hour of Shadows to save their 4-2. The provocation, annoying as always, but I know the perfect counter for it, and it's of course Wild Shape. Any reason to do something else? Do I care about the Basilisk? So they are black-red with some kind of a white splash, because they have the mountain there. I never saw the white splash, so probably some kind of a bum. They have a Grim Bounty and the Provocation, so that's 2, cards I can counter with the Wild Shape. But I guess against the Rabble Rousers, the Basilisk are somewhat okay, but I'm not sure. Well, I need to cut something anyway, so let's cut something. I like all the stuff here though. I really do. Maybe the Extraordinary, because this mostly gives the treasure to accelerate my plays, but then again, it is pretty powerful like that. And then the double strike is when you don't need the treasure for accelerating your plays, you will get the one-shot attack by sacking a treasure. But yeah, of course, something has to go here. Maybe it is the Basilisk in the end. Okay, I feel it is the weakest card in the deck, even though it can be, a decent defensive play. But I have those 2 mana removal spells, so I should have most often something to do on turn 2. I mean, I have some creatures still, and those 2 mana removal spells, so that's still a lot of 2 mana spells. And this hand is good. Opponent also mulliganed, so that's keep making it less likely for them to curve out in a great way. Alright, so I guess it's just Jaheira, follow the tracks, pull back on turn 4. I mean, this is a 2-3 guy that can just they can just, you know, start attacking if they are not gonna play. They are missing the red mana. I haven't seen the white splash. No, that's not. It's tempting to just play the Circle of the Moon Druid, but my next turn will be so much better if I just play the Ogre here. I have 3 mountains, so I should do this and have the green gate. I like this ramp because this will eventually turn into a card. Now you don't have time to do that in every game, but it's still, you know, a lot better than just ramping once. That dies. It's acceptable. I will have my 4/4 trampling creature that draws me a card. Tiefling outcasts, sure. They get to scry. They just need the mountain there, right? Oh, this is actually an imp and does say that demons, devils, imps. Alright. Alright, Chaos Baldur. Now, if it dies, I get to do the thing. So if they have a Minimus containment, that's like the worst case scenario. If they have another Grim Bounty, then I get to do the thing. And that would be a relevant thing. I could kill their board and you know, take 2 damage and make 2 treasures for myself. That's totally fine. So it's interesting. I mean, it's gonna be one of the 5 drops. I'm not gonna do Innkeeper into Moon Druid. That's not the play to make. Alright, mythic thing. Let's hope their splash isn't a Minimus containment. That's what I need to hope for. Because in that case I would rather have an Ogre here. A removal spell, not so bad because of the death trigger. A removal spell other than, you know, Minimus containment. Well, they didn't want to. I mean, obviously if they can't deal with this, next turn I will deal 2 to their team and you know, get 2 treasures myself with the cost of 2 life, which I obviously can do. And well, I still have my 4/5. Alright, well, that was opponent mulligan into 6 and not hitting their red color source, but I guess they had the planes there, so what was the splash into the deck? If they didn't splash, they would have, you know, gotten, maybe the planes would have been a mountain and they could have played a regular game there. But yep, splashing can be tempting if you have some nice bomb rare. The deck, well, red-green. I don't think this was like the normal red-green because it had 3 of these uncommons. But I like them 3 mana accelerants when you have access to these 5 drops. And of course the 6 drops being playable on turn 5 also makes sense. So the follow the tracks, Bronze Walrus, and a few ways to gain treasure tokens allowed me to play these things, you know, on an early stage in the game, which is always powerful. That does mean my turn 3 plays might not be that powerful, but when I have these turn 2 plays available, especially if I can just play some of these on turn 2, then I can use my turn 3 to accelerate and maybe, you know, get a payoff on turn 4. But even forgetting all that, this deck had a bunch of removal and bunch of powerful cards, good mana curve, basically a regular limited deck, also a bomb mythic. So basically something you want from your decks, always in limited. And well, the result is according to the quality of the deck, I would say. And 3-0 wasn't. It's not trivial to get 3 wins even with a great deck, but this at least was a deck that I think deserved a 3-0 result. So that's it for this video. I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching and bye bye.